everyone. It's a beautiful evening tonight. Nice weather, fall, leaves are changing. It's really great time of the year. So I started to reflect on my past memories of, having pets and being in shelters and just my whole experience about it, because I'm just like bugs. I'm spending time researching for my friend, and this is such a lengthy process. But when I grew up in the city, when I was younger, we were walking on the Upper West Side with my mom and little ducks, okay. This wouldn't be a good video without the ducks. So we were walking on the street, my sister, me, and my mother and I, and there was a box of poodles. They were like little balls of big furry, like a lot of black fur. It's like a ball. It was so cute. And of course, my sister and I, we cried to our mother. We had to have this little puppy to take home. And so my father, though, he was never ever one for pets. So this was gonna be create a little drama in the household to bring the dog home. But we save our drama for our mama. Anyway, so we bought home the little poodle. And growing up with it, it was really snobby, actually. The ducks are back. Look at this duck; it's getting its little head wet. So my father was never one for pets. We still took the dog in and made it a home, and it was like part of members of the family, which all pets are. They're good companions. They become members of the family. So this dog, though, that we had growing up, my childhood poodle dog, was very sassy, snobby, and we were like completely snap at you. I mean, it was so temperamental that it had so many ups and downs. I definitely gave my childhood dog a lot of love and took it out on walks and love doing that. I love walking around Manhattan, so walking around a dog is great there. So you could go window shopping and everything else. But later on, I moved to Brooklyn. I call it Boogie Down Brooklyn, and there was just a lot of stray cats around in the neighborhood, and I just kind of piqued my interest to have a cat. So I went into a shelter with a friend, and oh my gosh, they're just so cute, these animals. How could you not want to bring them home? They're adorable. So when I went to a shelter, I just wanted to take everyone in. Of course, they're so adorable. How could you not help it? They're like, take me, feed me, love me. They need so much TLC, and I love that they're just so helpless. They need you. So anyways, there's just so many stray cats in Brooklyn. Well, everywhere there's stray cats. But I started to put food outside for them to feed them. And then all of a sudden, all these kittens started coming, so many of them. And I wanted so much to take them in and help them, because they're just so adorable. I don't know where the mother went. All I see is just a bunch of kittens, day after day. And I'm buying food, and I'm like, you know what? I just have to take them in. So I took them in, and literally, it was one night with them. They were peeing in my plants. They were going crazy. They were hiding under the bed. I couldn't find some of them. It was little cats going crazy. I was up all night. I just couldn't take causing a lot of trouble. And so what I did was I said, if you guys don't behave, I'm gonna make fur coats out of every single one of you. No, but I wouldn't do that, because that's horrible. The cats were going crazy on the loose. There was just so many of them. So the next day I put them all in a box, and I took them to Manhattan, the city, and city never sleeps. I took them all there. I took them to a vet, and he took all of them in. I think I had like 10 little kittens in a cardboard box on the train, the subway. And I wasn't so far from Coney Island, so it was definitely a trip on the subway. And everybody was like, oh, so cute. Very cute. But as you know, it's a responsibility to take them home. So I didn't find anyone on the spot in the subway that wanted to take it home. So another time I went to a shelter and I just wanted to take them all home, but I took in this one cat and I named it Romeo, like Romeo and Juliet. And again, I got a job in the city, and it was just a lot of commuting, and it wasn't fair to the cat, even though I heard you could play music and, you know, to keep it entertained in the day. I just didn't feel it was fair to the cat for me to be gone. So after all those stories, I was one day walking in the city, okay, just being in my happy place, and I often am there, okay, minding my own business. I'm about to cross the street, waiting for the traffic light to change. Anyways, it's a beautiful sunset, beautiful night, and we are enjoying it, but we're getting a little bit. So we're gonna have to leave soon to make some dinner, homework, bath, because we had soccer, and the life of a busy mom, we do it all. Anyways, so I was walking across the street, and this guy, I guess he just had I don't know, I didn't know about the dog, but the dog bit me, okay, really bad, took a big bite out of my leg, like just huge. It was horrible experience. It was traumatic. Can you imagine? So I went with him in my lobby, and then I called the police, and that I had this huge, it was like bleeding. It was just it was horrible. It didn't look good. It didn't look like a pretty sight. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the owner was so apologetic. So it's not like I did a lawsuit or anything, but he had just a new, it was a new dog, and he was training the dog, and the dog wasn't fully trained. By the way, I went to the hospital, and I got rabies shots and all this stuff, and I just went through a lot with that. So you can understand how I have developed a little fear of you know, dogs a little bit, but I love them still, and I really especially love helping seniors find them. So a little change of scenery right now, because I was getting eaten alive outside, and it was getting a little dark out there. So we spoke about the mischievous cats, stray cats that I took in Brooklyn, and that I took it on the subway to the veterinarian, and just they took care of it, thank God, because I couldn't take care of it more than maybe a day or two, but it's just making a lot of trouble. And then we spoke about my childhood poodle, which was a miniature dog, and that one thing I left out is that my father, the only time he ever walked the dog, our dog, was when the dog died. The day that the dog died was the only time that he walked it. So I think that's really interesting, fascinating. So the dog that I grew up with was so protective of my mother. And I think that's why she would just snap easily, and very snobby. And she really was. Every time you got near the bed, it would just go and just snap. My leg, when I got attacked on the street by a dog, I had this gash in my leg. It was a really horrible experience. So there was that story that I mentioned, and I have another one, if you can believe it. So on my 21st birthday, I was waiting in my friend's lobby. I had actually two friends that told me, get ready for this big surprise. You're not going to believe this. This is a huge 21st birthday. It's a big year. This is going to be great. Yada yada, and had me wait in the lobby. I had no idea. They even blindfolded me. I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, this is going to be a massive, big surprise. So they come in with this box and a big red ribbon, and guess what? It was a dog. okay? They gave me a dog, but I lived with my parents. I can't have a dog. We had lost my dog like years before, and they got me a dog. And let me mind you, it was a pit bull. And I'm like, do you guys want to kill me? But no, pit bulls are actually really sweet and gentle. And I mean, I was living with my parents. I can't possibly have a dog. I mean, I know they meant well, but that was just an outrageously crazy, thoughtless, selfish gift. Okay? It was really because they knew my parents would never go for that at the time. And so we took the dog to my friend's apartment. I was having a girls' slumber party, woohoo! But it was actually a night of hell because we took this dog in, cleaned it up, and we used salon selectives, and that's definitely, you don't do that. That's a big no-no. You don't wash the dog's hair with like chemicals. They need doggy shampoo. That was just really bad move. And then we got the dog all cleaned up, and the dog was like barking all night long. And I want to let you know that my friend was modeling at the time. So she had her photographer on the phone at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And also because the dog was barking all night, no one could go to sleep. No one. So I'm never going to forget this story. Every time I see a dog, I think of this story. Every time I see a cat, I think of all the stray cats that I took in. I just always think of these stories. It's just like indented in my brain. So that night, that was crazy. And the dog was barking all night. I'm sure my friends really meant well. It's just that I don't understand how they didn't think that my parents would go for this. So it was, I couldn't keep it. I clearly couldn't keep it. But so that night, the dog was barking all night long, okay? And I was so upset about everything that it pooped on the floor because my friend was like yelling at me to keep the dog quiet. Meanwhile, she had bought it for me. So it was just a little crazy. I'm leaving, and I took the dog and I left. So when I came home, it was like really early morning. My mom was like half asleep. She was in her nightgown. She opens the door and she's like, you know, when you're like half asleep, she was like dreaming. She's like, oh my gosh, this is such a cute little stuffed animal. And literally she thought it was a stuffed animal. And I'm like, no, this is a real dog. We have a real dog here. And then when she woke up, she's like, I'm like, this is not a dream. We have a dog. But my father would not go for it. We couldn't keep it. But so my sister and my mother spent a lot of time trying to find it a new home because I knew if I was going to get so attached to it, they handled it and they found it a great loving home. We kept it for like a month, but we had to give it away. So it was just really sad. So I have all these stories with pets, and of course I appreciate it. I want to help my friend find a loving pet. I can't have one for myself. I just think it's a huge responsibility, but I appreciate it. Anybody who has it, some family members has it, some friends. I'll say, what's up? I love the dog. I'll pat it. I'll just, but I couldn't have one. But those are my stories in a nutshell, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching.